Resident Evil! Welcome back once again to the world of survival horror. Good luck, and good luck indeed, to all of the millions and millions and millions of Resident Evil fans out there. We were presented with some of the most fantastic news that we've been wanting to hear for a long ass time. And you have a motherfucker like me, a crazed goddamn lunatic, a lunatic fringe if you will. Dean Ambrose. But I am brimming with excitement over the fact that it is official. Capcom is going ahead and greenlighting the Resident Evil 2 remake. So this shit not only is official, but one of the main producers of it, longtime producer over at Capcom as a matter of fact, part of RPD1, which I thought was kind of cute. But Yoshiaki Hirobayashi, want to make sure I'm not absolutely butchering the shit out of his name, but we're just going to call him H, since that's kind of what he goes by anyway. But he had made a video detailing that yes, this is going to happen, and it's all thanks in part to the efforts, the mobs, the fucking absolute crazy oceans of fans who went out of their way to go and say that they want to see this shit happen. So, thanks to all of you out there and everybody else out there that said something, now this is actually going to become reality and come to fruition. And that right there has always proved my point. All you gotta do, voice your opinion, vote with your wallet. Two very important key factors I will live by in any entertainment industry. And all they wanted was opinions. Hey, would you like this? Yes. Okie dokie then. I hope more people say that. Oh, more people did. Let's go ahead with it because it's basic business 101. Supply and demand. There's shit tons of demand. We better supply. And there you go. And the thing is, many people have been saying over and over again, oh man, I hope Capcom turns shit around. Where the fuck have you been for like the past year? Because as far as I've been concerned, they've raided the ship and they've been doing a lot of smart things and been doing nothing but making really good games. That's what we've expected from Capcom for years, and I hope these efforts go and continue for years and years and years, because for the longest time, Capcom has always been my favorite third-party developer and publisher. I mean, fuck, just the plethora of franchises that they have under their belt is reason enough, and I grew up with all of them. You know, I've got to see them change and evolve and become better and better, then take a fucking nosedive, but then crawl back up from that as if it's some kind of drunken binge and shit. Now that we have Resident Evil 2 announced, how the fuck are we going to have the gameplay, man? Are we going to have behind-the-shoulder perspective like we got to see started with Resident Evil 4, which most people grew up and got used to? I've been playing since 1996, where it was all pre-rendered and, you know, fixed camera angles and all that other fucking shit, and tank controls, so I'm fine with either, but personally I look at the Resident Evil remake, and since that is the quintessential example of exactly how a video game should be remade, and we are talking about a game that played exactly like that remake, that's kind of what I wanted to go to, and that's how I wanted to play. I wanted to have that same feeling. You know, I want to go and run to all these different locations. I want to run down a different corridor that's got that cinematic approach to it. As much as I want to have the camera follow me, and keep in mind this is all just a personal preference of mine. I mean, if I could have it either way, I don't really give a shit because it's still going to be good. But regardless, I kind of just prefer the fixed camera angle look. I really do. I don't know, just call me fucking kooky for that. But the remake is what they need to use as the foundation when creating this. You know, I know that Shinji Mikami is no longer with the company, and some people might go and say, well, how good can they possibly do if they don't have him? Most of the development team of the Resident Evil remake are still employed by Capcom. So let's just get that out of the way. And most people that are heading this project up, again, have worked on the Resident Evil remake, Resident Evil 0, which was actually a remake of the one on Nintendo 64, and Resident Evil 4. So that right there should at least spell out, you know, this has tons of fucking potential to be even possibly better than the original Resident Evil remake, which is kind of a high bar to set. But to say that that's, you know, inconceivable, it would be asinine. It's most definitely something that's possible. It's not only in the realm of possibility, but considering that we're talking about one of the best video game sequels ever made, Resident Evil 2 is one of the best. Let's keep that in mind. I think that it's plausible. So some of the stuff that they could do with this, I thought that it would be kind of cool. Instead of doing just a full-out Resident Evil 3 remake, why don't you include this as a third campaign, since they're on the same exact timeline? And most people, if you know the history of Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 3 was originally going to be the side story, and Code Veronica was technically Resident Evil 3. But because Capcom had a little deal inked out with Sony, they were supposed to be getting an actual sequel, a numbered sequel. So that's why Resident Evil 3 Nemesis became what it was, and Code Veronica, which was on Dreamcast, ended up becoming the pseudo-side story of sorts. Well, I would like to see Resident Evil 3 kind of put into this. So, Claire, Leon, Jill. Choose from that. And I think it would be kind of cool, because just imagine the zapping system now affecting all 3 campaigns. Just imagine dealing with Mr. X and Nemesis, potentially. She could get all fucking crazy. I would love to see a lot of stuff. Again, like I mentioned before, take a lot of stuff from Resident Evil 1.5 and implement it into this. I know that there's tons of different locations, characters, enemies, just all sorts of stuff that they never got to bother with. Put all of that into this game. I mean, I would love to see the actual working version of Resident Evil 1.5 put into this, and I know that a lot of the companies are, you know, listening, and they're all wanting to go and see some shit like that, but how many of them, you know, are saying, oh man, Resident Evil 1.5? Probably not that many. But it's something I've given a shit for such a long-ass time. Also, by the way, I don't know if anybody realized, where my Resident Evil shirt, got Tyrant on there, got Tyrant, watch me up there, yeah! Oh, and it's hard to tell, but you got Zombie Forest. He's back there on top of the Famicom Anniversary Edition of Game Boy Micro. Haha! Anyway, so, but with Resident Evil 2, again, if we went with the alternate control scheme of over-the-shoulder, you know, we've got that Resident Evil 2 Rebirth, which is fan-made project, and that looks fucking phenomenal, and just the idea of going through many of those locations would be mind-blowing. I'd want to see them pay homage to a bunch of things from the very first Resident Evil. The idea that this is actually happening makes me so fucking happy. It does. You have no idea, because I've wanted this for years. I've wanted a Final Fantasy VII remake. I've wanted Resident Evil 2 remake, because those are 2 of my favorite video games of all time. Of all time. I thought that they were some of the most important video games within that generation, within, well, the PlayStation's console life cycle, you know, and it helped me as a gamer, because I became a much bigger fan of RPGs. I became a much bigger fan of the survival horror genre. You know, still was blown away at the idea of playing through the streets of Raccoon City for the first time. Because it's like, holy fuck, we're outside of a mansion! Now we're like within a city, and I would love to see them actually let you go and traverse more parts of that. Make more optional areas, kind of like side quest-ish, maybe, that have nothing to do with shit. I mean, you figure Resident Evil, the remake itself, had a lot of extra shit that was not in the original. I mean, fucking tons. And what's even better is, and people aren't fully aware of this, but the HD remaster of that remake that we got just recently on like PlayStation 3, Xbox One, PS4 and all that, and on PC, a lot of those locations were completely redone from the ground up in 3D. They look pre-rendered because they're so well done, but they're actually done up in 3D because they want to make the lighting, they want to make certain aspects of it shine so much more and look a lot better, but you couldn't do that with the pre-rendered backgrounds. And again, that kind of just is a testament and proves my point about the whole thing of you couldn't ever do an HD remaster of the original Resident Evil 2 because there's no way to physically do that. It's just too low of a resolution and it would kind of look silly. So redoing this stuff from the ground up, and it's a game that warrants it. I mean, it sold fucking millions. I mean, Resident Evil 2 helped usher in so many more entries within the franchise and was a monumental success by every single standard. I mean, whether you played it on PC, the Platinum version, whether you played the version on Nintendo 64, which was a fucking epic feat. You know, this right here was 2 CDs crammed into 1 cartridge. With all the CG cutscenes intact, all the voice acting, everything. That was fucking mind-boggling. That was like some straight-up fucking necromantic wizardry bullshit. I don't know what the fuck they did, but they sold their souls to some goddamn fucking demon to go and make this shit happen. Not quite like Liliana Vest, where you get shit etched into your fucking skin with the contract, but you know, whatever. I've been playing Magic the Gathering a lot. Fucking sue me. But that was amazing. You know, in PlayStation 2 version, I mean, we had the regular version, which you could win a role to be on the Resident Evil 2 movie, and then the DualShock version, I know way too much about Resident Evil. Way too fucking much! But it's... I want to see this happen, you know, I do, in the biggest way possible. I want to see Elsa Walker show up in the game as an extra character. You even get to play as her in some point. I want to see Marv run around in Leon's portion of the game, which I think would be really fucking cool. You know, I want to see John Kendo from the gun shop run around and be able to do stuff with you. I'm kind of curious what they'll do with the portions with Sherry Birkin, because she's like a little ass kid, and her portion of the game fucking sucked so bad. She was just so fucking slow. I'm like, dude, when I was a kid, those zombies wouldn't have shit on me. I'd just be like fucking grease lightning. They wouldn't be able to catch me at all. Her, yeah, it was like she was trying to trudge through, like, fucking neck-deep mud. It was like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you going so slow? Damn! Do you have fucking calcium deficiency? I don't get it! Anyhow, but this is gonna be cool. I'm telling you, it's gonna be fucking awesome. I have all my faith in Capcom to be able to deliver on something like this, because they actually went out of their way to listen to fans, and that's good. That's what these companies need to do. They hold all the cards, they have all these properties and franchises in these games, and this is something we've been demanding. And before somebody says, I wish they'd just make brand new games, they are making brand new games, you fucking dumbass. Doesn't mean that they can't go and listen to fans and make shit like this. This is something that's been demanded and asked for years. So you're saying that they should just ignore those fucking fans? Just so that it can appease you with some brand new IP? Why not make both? Oh, fucking Revelation right there. Which, by the way, play Revelations 1 and 2. Both of them are fucking fantastic. And anytime people are like, man, the Resident Evil fucking sucks in 6, I'm like, what? What fucking planet are you on? Did you play the remake? Did you play Revelations? Did you play Revelation 2? What? Am I up? What? Are you fucking stupid? Probably didn't play it, but still, you know, it's just one of those things you want to put them in their place and be like, no, play this shit. This is like great survival horror. And we're getting the Resident Evil 0 HD remake, which is fucking fantastic, as that game deserved way more attention than it got. So, seeing Billy run around? Yeah, most definitely. I want to see that shit happen, and, you know, it just be awesome. Then Rebecca running around, but she doesn't actually mace him in the face. So I'm wondering if there's gonna be a point where they just fucking get it on, because those two, there was fucking pent-up sexual tension like all over the goddamn place. It was fucking nutty. Nuttier than a fucking squirrel turd. Anyhow, so yay? Nay? If you're not excited about this, fuck off. I'm fucking excited about this. I'm happier than hell. So anyhow, stuff you want to see included with it? Comment below, or just go to the Facebook page, which I am going to include in the description. Let them know, exclaim tons of joy for this. You know, that's what they're keeping tabs on. Social media has allowed us to be able to interact and talk directly to these companies, and our voices do matter. So, just bear that in mind. Anyway, this is AlphaOmegaSin, as always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers game the fuck on.